welcome to the latest video. So we're going to be going over the highest rated players by nation in 2020. This is through HLTV, showing the HLTV rating on the left hand side, the player name plus the country flag at the bottom. So let's get started. So there is a minimum map filter of 75 on this, so you can see that felt like it was just about enough. Obviously with COVID we had a little less maps being played overall, but a lot more region locked situations. So we saw players from Oceania, for example, INS, he's come in near the top here, 1.27 rating, but Renegades were basically just destroying everybody in their way. So this rating makes a lot of sense when you consider they played, I think it was 2 events that were not region locked. It was Katowice and then Group in Leipzig, I believe. So it's not too surprising to see him on that sort of rating. Smuya, another surprise to this list, really. Or actually, not surprised to the list, but more surprised at how high his rating is, considering, he had time on Chaos in the first half of the year, let's say. He was gone by, I think it was March or April anyway. But otherwise he had a lot of standing performances, but clearly a player worth noting, especially because he has now been signed by Movistar Riders. So it'll be really interesting to see how well he does facing that tier 1 opposition again. But one of the main things, obviously, is that Phelps is the top of the list by a pretty decent margin. 0.05 rating is a lot when you compare the top of the top level players like this, because even Zio and Simple, there was nothing to separate them in terms of rating. But Phelps was doing that much better, because he is a very capable player, a tier 1 level player, but he was just stuck on Boom, and he was basically just farming, more or less. On the way down, we do see Shiro from Russia, the Gambit player. He's been performing very, very well. Blame F as well, representing Denmark in this situation. No device on the list, which makes it quite interesting. Wrath from US, which is a bit of a surprise. No Team Liquid or EG player, which you can consider the opponents they face. It's not too surprising, but it's still a bit of a shock because they're American players, who do you think of? And then it's Wrath's the one that actually has the highest rating, which, fair play to him. All he can do is beat the people in front of him, which evidently he did very well. Going further down, we have Nico for Bosnia, he's up there. Rops right behind him. Lollipop, 21k as well, doing very well representing Belarus. And Canada, Wardle is the highest rated from there with a 1.15. Big surprise, really, all things considered, because there are many good players from Canada, like Naf, for example, Twists as well, who's recently joined FaZe Clan. We go further down, Flames, the endpoint prodigy, as it were, doing very, very well, representing Israel. Then Nivera comes in, Hobbit, Brolan. Sweden had to go this far down the list to get their first player in. 1.12 rating is all he actually mustered. I say all he mustered, but he was facing the best of the best the whole year. So it's not really that's all he mustered. That's just a case of he was really good against the opposition he had to face, but not as good as some of the other people on this list. And then we have our second endpoint member as well, Crucial, coming through. I think that is actually the most from one team as well. So that's a bit of an interesting note to actually have, I suppose, looking at the year ahead. Endpoint could be having a good one. Halzerk, Bunter, Malms MD, you're going further down, and Issa, he's been the lone representative more or less from Jordan for the entire time he's been playing, really, at the top level at least. And even though he didn't have a great year himself, he was still able to show up on the list with the minimum map threshold. So let's hope he sees another good year though, because seeing the potential he has, it's maybe the COVID time wasn't ideal. Maybe he was playing from Jordan, ping difference, that sort of thing. It may have made things a bit more difficult. Not too sure. But that's going to be it from this one. It's just a short video comparing the players, the highest rated players by nation in 2020. Thought it might be interesting to some people, but that's going to be it from here.